That's right, LIVE live. Give us a call, 206-855-3192. Once again, 206-855-3192. Let's get the festivities started. Welcome to the Rocket Radio Show.
Good evening, everybody. Just making sure I got a signal here. Hey, everybody, how you doing? It's Rocket from the Rocket Radio Show. It's good to be alive. Good to be alive. I'd like to welcome you to the call-in show tonight. Plenty to talk about. Give me a call. Tell me what's on your mind. 206-855-3192. 206-855-3192. Or you can Skype me. Rocket.radio. Rocket.radio. Rocket.radio on Skype. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of crazy stuff. I had a fucking clip all queued up and it won't fucking play! It's like Blog Talk Radio again all over. Well, anyway, there's a slaughter going on. Don't you fucking take that one. That was from Obama. Syrian. That was from Michelle. This one from Sasha. This one is for Diane Feinstein. I'm going to take your guns away, America. Give them to these guys. 2 million hollow points. Wait for the conspiracy theory. Get out your tinfoil hat for radiation. Take that, you little monkey letter. Syrian rebels there teaching our sons. Take back all your Iranian trucks. ماشي 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 ده مش جوه شغله حد الزكاة ازاي Our nation is a psychic cripple. You guys been avoiding this? Don't look around YouTube. I'm sure you did. يلا علش يلا كمل اي عيني هذا يا اخوي اليوم كيف تفهم هلا عزيز الدنيا هنا عزيز الدنيا تعالوا نغير
Esta gente.
يا حيوان
مين بيعتك واحد من الزلمة؟ مين؟
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our future as predicted in George Orwell's 1984 book. Imagine a jack-booted foot stomping on a human face for eternity. That's what we're looking at. You think it's crazy? I'll tell you what's crazy. You know what's crazy is how frickin' right I am all the time. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm right. I know I'm right. I told you, that guy that went into the military base over there in Washington, D.C., he's got his little ELF weapon scribed on a shotgun. I don't even need to tell you what that means. He's hearing microwave words in his brain, which is exactly how they do it. It's crazy! There's so many crazy people out there. The United States population is just watching a puppet show. It's a long puppet show of provocation and reaction and response and polls. We do a little stimulus. How can we manage the perceptions of this country? How does a Nobel Prize winner try to talk the country into going into war? He does it the same way that Woodrow Wilson talked the country into going to war after marketing himself on a platform of no war, no intervention. You get your Nobel Peace Prize, and then you get out your community activists. Jesus Christ, why couldn't we tell the frickin' smell on the shit with the title of a community activist? A community activist, a community organizer. That sounds about as Marxist and communist as it gets. You can ignore it. You can deny it. You can look away. You can become sated. You can become drugged or drunk. Maybe you're high. Maybe you're distracted. Maybe your mistress talks your fucking ear off when all you really want her to do is serve you. But we're a consumer society. We make it, we use it, we break it, and we throw it away. This all started from a surplus back in the beginning of the Industrial Revolution when the machines started turning out the products like crazy, and suddenly there was this over-inventory. What the hell do we do? Well, why don't we use some of the propaganda artists from World War I during this peacetime in between now and the next war and use propaganda on the citizens to sell products? That's a great idea. So instead of describing products for their quality and their uses and their viability and their economics and their ergonomics and how wonderful products they are, no, suddenly it's sexy. What you want to do is smoke cigarettes, ladies. It's sexy. So we'll sponsor beauty pageants. We'll sponsor Mensa clubs where they sit around and smoke. We'll get doctors to smoke. Pretty soon we're going to develop the Jay-Z and Paris Hilton Society. What we want to know is if your breasts are large enough, if your bank account is big enough. Mama, don't date no skags. Beyond your immediate levels of personal comfort, it's greed, man. I find myself feeling so lazy because I'm not motivated to do a lot because I'm personally comfortable. I thought my uphill battles were all fought. I thought my enemies were all killed. I thought that we were having a peace dividend, but I didn't get to take part of that part. I got too old. That's going to be left to you retards if you can pull yourself away from Call of Duty. But, of course, Call of Duty is raising an entire generation of young men that are just like one cunt hair away from being homicidal. Think about all the kids that are fucked up without a daddy. You gotta have a daddy. There isn't one single indicator, not growing up in the ghetto, not being black, not being malformed or mentally retarded. It's not your race or your culture or your religion or any of those things that have the most common denominator as failure as an adult, as fatherlessness. If you don't have a father in your home, you're going to turn out screwed up. And ladies out there for the push for equality have pushed their husbands just like Lilith right out of the garden. Where's Daddy? Now we've got a whole generation of displaced war refugees. The war of the classes, the war of the cultures, the war of the currency, trade wars. Now all these orphans and refugees flowing in with their jerry cans full of hope, destroyed, trashed, and tortured. We're going to have a whole new generation of severely fucked up young people. Lifeless, hopeless, loveless, abandoned, neglected, and abused. Where's our families? Maybe it's better to have two dads than no dad. Where's the fathers? Are you spanking your kids? If you spank them a couple of times a week, that might wind up to be 100 times a year. And over their childhood, you may have spanked them 1,000 times, and they probably need it. All the adult dramas that we see played out on the world stage, and all the adult dramas that you interact with daily are really just manifestations of people's childhood abuses and traumas and fucked upness, and trying to resolve that shit. You know, your wife probably loves you for some inane reason that has to do with her dad or her mom or somebody else that, you know, implanted some deep-seated fear, insecurity, neurosis, or your ego. You know, 4 or 5% of the population are narcissists. They're out there cruising around, and due to our sheltering environment, they're not stoned by the local villagers. Goddamn psychiatric motherfuckers. And of course, homosexuality is genetic, right? It's natural. So is insanity. And all those insane people are allowed to breed. Luckily, now that we have birth control, the women out there don't have to worry about making a smart selection because she can always have an abortion. Some little teeny tiny infant looks like a little doll. We'll get our scissors in there and snip that little inconvenient fact, flush him down the drain. Abortion is so wrong. It's so wrong on so many levels. Once you start to realize that it's a Jewish conspiracy, that it's a banker conspiracy, then you start to realize the genocide of abortion clinics, which are closing down rapidly. But of course, Obama says that the majority of the population want to turn in their guns. So for whatever reason, the political culture does not jive with the actual culture, and that's normal. You know, I hear a lot of people bitching and smacking on Thomas Jefferson for owning slaves and having children with them. I'd like you guys to know what a weird and different world it would be without Thomas Jefferson, because he was the foil for Madison, Adams, those motherfuckers. You got your Federalists and whatnot. Now, Thomas Jefferson spent a bunch of time in France, parlez-vous français, and with them French, who came to our aid in the Revolution. Meanwhile, you have Madison and Adams back here in the United States. If it wasn't for Jefferson, the human beings wouldn't have any rights. These guys that formed the original government were all for business. And that's one of the reasons why after the Declaration of Independence, then we had the Constitution, and then finally the Bill of Rights. Because you had men that fought in the Revolutionary War didn't get paid. They're getting their houses foreclosed on, mostly debtors. And you know, the primary reason of the Revolutionary War was to expand. We had to expand. We were bursting at the seam. Now, even though Thomas Jefferson in the documents wasn't even there, first of all, but he didn't see black people as being able to vote, or women being able to vote, or vagrants being able. You had to own property to vote. There you go. Racist nation from the fucking get-go. And, you know, like I said, the war in the South had little or nothing to do with slavery. That was all about a beef with Britain. And, of course, it's put a stranglehold on the South. And, you know, you needed slaves out there working in the field, sun up to sundown, to make a profit in the first place, even to pay for the slaves. A lot of slave owners purchased slaves to save the slaves. Because if a slave was no good, man, you know, there were a lot of decent slave owners, believe it or not. People go over to Zimbabwe and purchase slaves right now for their freedom. That happened a lot. There were plenty of abolitionists and all those types of things. And now, of course, the majority of people that you look around and see today in public are all immigrants after that fact. But, of course, Genghis Khan had Caucasian slaves. The Japanese had Caucasian slaves. The Romans had slaves from all over the world. It's part of the human condition, laying on the floor being whipped by a master. Nobody's skin color, you know, I'm sorry, you didn't corner the market on it. There were other people that were slaves too. That's got to go away. Where's the love? Blessed be the peacemakers. Where's all the love? Has anybody got any love out there for me tonight? Give me a call. It's open mic. 206-855-3192. I'm going to have to stare at the screen here for a second, see who's on call. Nope, nobody called yet. Where's all the religious leaders? Why do they allow this kind of stuff to happen? What's up with this country? Sometimes I sit here and think, you know, we're running out of time, people. If you have extra extraneous bullshit that you're participating in, you might want to focus on your food preps or maybe leaving if you're going to go somewhere, if you plan on bugging out. It's just borrowed time. Don't get caught with your pants down, especially if you know better.
أحلى شباب شبهت الأسد.
نجيب الناو بدي اسمعه هذاك اسمعه ولا لا؟ هم ما عندي جيبهم ولا لا؟ حسن بيان اللي بعرفه لانه خاطر جيبهم ولا لا؟ شوف حسن بيان والله شفت لك يا والله نزلت المكية بيه ما نزلت المكية
بلا صوت يا حبيبي، بلا صوت. بلا صوت. ليس كبائر. لا تركز. بدل يلا بدل لك شبيح على الابد اجل عيونك يا عسل. بقى طيب طيب اديله. تجيب اسمار ولا لا؟ تجيبهم ولا لا؟ تجيبهم ولا لا؟ تجيبهم ولا لا؟ Jadi kalau kita tidak